All right, we are live with episode 27 of Practical Chrome. Welcome, everybody. It is, of course, Tuesday, June 24th, 2014, and this one is called Google I/O 2014 because this is a pre-show. It's not like live during 2014 I/O, but that's what it's about. And of course, we are sponsored tonight by the effectivegroup.com or effective-group.com. We want to thank them for their sponsorship and let you know about them real quick. The effectivegroup.com is, if I can pull up, of course, look at this. I'm terrible. It's one of those nights, guys. It's been a slow bad night. But effectivegroup.com. They do need a fantastic website that not only looks great on mobiles and tablets, but also gets you selling online. Then the Effective Group is who you want to get with, right? They're best at what they do. They get you up and running online quick and easily, but yet also with a structured environment and take care of you. Of course, they are based in the UK, established for 15 years and working across the world. You are in safe hands with the Effective Group. Again, that's www.effective-group.com, so definitely check them out. Of course, like I said, this episode is going to be a pre-show for Google I/O 2014, which is awesome. It's a big conference by Google, right? This, again, it's starting tomorrow, not today. We're going to kind of break it down. We're going to dig into the sessions, devices, development, and fun that I/O may or may not have in store for us this year. Also in the news, Verizon gets a red card for its actions in the Chromebook field. Tegra-powered Chromebooks sub in, and web development just got started. All that and so much more, of course, on this episode. And of course, I want to welcome my co-hosts, James Welbes and Craig Tumblison. James, how are you doing this evening, sir, with your Google hat?
I am good, John. How are you?
I've had better days, but I'm glad to be here, sir.
Good.
Craig, how about you?
I'm great, John.
Okay, now I do understand that you might go into have some coughing, sneezing going on. You're a little sick. That's okay.
Yeah, and it's not just an excuse so I can take the day off for I/O tomorrow. I wish it was. I wish it
That's a
was.
good idea. I should have done that. James, why didn't we do that? Terrible. All right. Good. Oh man, that would have been a good idea. All right. Well, again, everybody, welcome to Practical Chrome. This, of course, is the podcast, videocast dedicated to everyday Chrome users, and we'll give you the latest tips, news, and reviews on all things Google Chrome. Do you have a Chromebook, or do you use the Chrome browser on iOS, Android, Mac, Linux, Windows? Then this is the podcast broadcasted from a Chromebook that will keep you in the know, or a Chromebox sometimes, that will keep you in the know. Of course, you already met my co-hosts. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to get into the news, and then after that, what we'll do is we'll jump into the main, check out some Google I/O 2014 stuff, get you some links to all that great information out there for that, and get you ready for the keynote tomorrow, and all the cool live sessions. So we'll go over that as well. But let's get into some news. First up, Web Fundamentals and Starter Kit Resources for the Modern Web. Now, this is actually something pretty darn cool. I actually I started some adventures in Google Chrome, adventures in Chrome little videos that I did. And my inspiration was actually this post on the Chromium blog, basically where the developers went ahead and actually created a nice little starter kit, a little boilerplate to start developing, using the responsive web, you know what I mean? So that you can build websites that are good for mobile and the desktop and everything like that, and they're responsive. And the developers actually put out this really cool starter kit, and you can actually do this from your Chromebook if you want to. Actually host it on Drive. You don't need to host any websites anywhere. It's pretty cool stuff. I've got the link in the show notes. James, I'll start with you. Did you get a chance to see that? I know that you definitely dig into, you and Craig both definitely dig into some web development. I don't know if you saw that starter kit or saw the fact that you can definitely just throw that in Drive because it's all client-side stuff.
Yeah, I actually watched I think your first Adventures in Chrome video, and you gave the starter kit a little go, and yeah, I thought that's pretty neat. The way you can just throw it in Drive and just kind of start building your own website there in Drive. Really similar to On a PC, if you wanted to throw together a website, you could just open Notepad and start going. That we haven't really had. I mean, maybe we've had the ability to do it, but it hasn't been intuitive to do something similar to that on a Chromebook. And with this WebKit tool, that's basically what you're doing. You go on a drive, create a folder, get in there and build a website. You don't have to, um, remote into some server or something like cPanel or something like that just to build a website. You can just go in your drive and build there. When you're finished, then you can upload it wherever you want it to go.
Exactly. It is really, really neat. Craig, did you get a chance to look at the WebKit or anything like that?
I did, and I had a chance to read some of everyone else's comments on it, for better or for worse. I love the idea. I like the idea because Google is a web-first company, and this seems like an effort to help make the web easier to develop for, and really just to kind of help the web experience. Because what we've noticed is it's easy to build a website that displays correctly on one device. It's very, very difficult to build a website that displays remotely similar on multiple devices, especially when you get to the point where maybe displaying the same site the same way doesn't make a lot of sense depending on the form factor. So I think this is a good starter kit. It's not going to be the end-all be-all solution, but it is a good starter kit. It kind of introduces some of the common concepts and should hopefully help some people just get familiar with the environment and start building a site knowing that the other form factors are out there, mobile phones, tablets, and kind of get some of that core down. Because let's be honest, HTML has changed a lot since HTML4. So there's a lot of new devices to think about when you're designing a site. So I think it's a good starter kit, but the criticism it's received so far is probably fair. A lot of people say it doesn't display perfectly on all the devices, and that's probably true, because older versions of various browsers do display things differently. That's part of the problem, but I think it's a good first step.
I agree. And then what they have on there also is a number of great links that kind of go over. There's a lot of documentation, learning the web fundamentals. They just have a lot of good stuff in there. Not just the starter kit, but also everything else, and also the fact that it is all client side, so that you're not relying on. It's kind of like you're going to be your first web app if you're just starting out, learning some of those languages. So I think it's really cool that they put it out there. So there's going to be naysayers, but those naysayers are usually web developers that are like, it's not that easy, and it usually isn't. There are some tweaks. We've all had our problems with our installations of even good, full installations of Drupal and WordPress and things like that. There's always little tweaks that you need to make as you move forward. So, but anyway, I thought
Plus,
that
it's
was
in
really cool.
beta.
What's that?
It's in beta. That's
Is
our
it, is
that's
it
our
in
response. Yep. It's
there you go. Exactly.
quite down with your criticism. It's in beta, for crying out loud.
Let me know about the bugs and we'll get back to you. All right. So, um, the other thing that we want to talk about is that the fact that Google's about to make it easier. I'm actually looking at an article from OMG Chrome, and basically this one's from Joey, and kind of goes into the fact that Google is about to make it easier for Chromecast users to find cast-ready applications. There's been the whole seesaw effect, and there's been a lot of stuff thrown into the store, and sometimes you do and you don't know what's cast available. And I think that it's a good first step towards, first of all, finding the good apps, finding the apps that are from the major manufacturers, things like that. But looking at the article, there's a quote there. We want to make it easier for users to find great Google Cast ready apps, and we want to give you the opportunity to have your app discoverable to Chromecast users. That's why we've made updates to the Google Cast Developer Console, where you can provide details about your app listed on chromecast.com/apps. So I think that's just I'm afraid I've been kind of lax with my Chromecast because when I switched ISPs, I had to dump my brand new router provided by Verizon and start using my it's got to be like 10-year-old router, one of those WRTG 45 deals, Linksys. Then went to Cisco and went back to Linksys since I've owned this thing. It's that old, and it can't do Chromecast. So I'm afraid I've been remiss in using that. But Craig, have you had a chance to read that article and take a look at what Google's trying to do to let people, developers, and get on that list and be able to promote their apps, kind of in a bigger way?
Yes, and it's one of those frustrating moments where I want to pull my hair out and scream, "No, no more Play Stores. We're done with this. We only need one." But I do understand the discoverability aspect, being that the Chromecast is not an Android-only device. So it does. It's kind of like creating a separate store. It's a duplication there, but the app list that they're promoting lets you find apps for your iPhone as well that are also compatible with the Chromecast. So I understand what they're doing, but at the same time, the way they've worded this, I really hope they're not taking submissions specifically for that page, because that kind of makes me feel like they're building another store. And we already have the Play Store. We already have the Chrome Web Store. We don't need a Chromecast store. We just don't. We just don't need a Chromecast store. So I don't understand what they're doing, to be honest. I get the discoverability aspect and the marketing aspect. You buy a you buy a Chromecast. You open the box. It has a web address on the inside of the paper. You type it in. You see all apps that are available, regardless of if you own an Android or an iPhone device or iOS device. I get that, but it makes me want to pull my hair out. I don't know that there's a good solution here. I'm not criticizing for the sake of saying that there's a better way to do it. I think it's a tough spot to be in. I just, it's duplication of effort for convenience sake, and I don't know that it'll be. I think it'll end up being confusing in the long run, because you're going to go to this page on Chromecast.com to see apps, and then go to the Play Store to download and install apps. It just seems overly complicated for what it is. That's just my opinion.
I'm with you. I mean, I agree. I think that there's almost you're almost fragmenting, but I think that possibly they're looking at the fact that they want Chromecast to be kind of pulled away from Android, because people sometimes think that Android is like this whole another beast, and then they might want to step away from they want the Chromecast to be like Ma and Pa can grab a Chromecast possibly, and they don't want them to have the Play Store URL and then not know where to look because they're too confused at what they're trying to find possibly. And there's of course caveats to that, and they shouldn't really necessarily not pander to that, but I do feel like if Grandma and Grandpa were to buy one, I wouldn't want them to go to the Play Store.
Well, I'll agree with you there, but they're going to have to end up at the Play Store. It's an intermediate step. If they own an Android device to control the Chromecast, they're going to end up in the Play Store regardless. I will be very curious to see tomorrow if we hear anything about this Android TV platform that I'm not endorsing as a rumor, and how that fits into this too. Because, again, you use that word fragmentation. I'm getting sick of that word, John.
But
I'm
it's
getting
true.
sick of it being an issue. It's
Right.
terribly true. It's terribly true. I'm getting sick of it being an issue. I'm not saying you need to stop using the word. I'm saying we need to stop it being an issue. And I don't know that adding this page is necessarily a step in the right direction. But what do I know?
I'm with you. So let's throw it to James. James, is Android TV a rumor? No, I'm just kidding. What do you
I already
think
got
about
one.
that's right.
I got
The
a review unit.
Listen, the Q was awesome, but no one bought it. No, it wasn't really awesome either. But go ahead. The fact that they are separating it a little bit, and Craig makes the point that they're going back. You're going to go back to Play Store. So, what's the end game, James?
Well, it kind of depends. Because I'm not sure what an iPhone owner right now would do to get a Chromecast app. I don't think they get them from Play Store. They'd have to get it through the iTunes Store. So I don't know if Craig, if you're suggesting that somehow iPhone owners should be able to download the app from the Play Store, or just have Play Store apps and then have iTunes Store apps and just keep them both completely separate.
Well, I would say, again, I'm not sure that there's a better solution here. But I think, at least on the Google side of things, a category in the Play Store for Chromecast apps apps specifically designed to be Chromecast compatible being highlighted in a separate section makes perfect sense.
Hmm.
Like I say, I get the idea of putting them in a central location so the iPhone users, iOS users have a kind of a central directory there too. But maybe in the papers say, own an Android device, head to Google Play. Own an iOS device, head to this link. And then have it chromecast.com/iOS. And then just feature iOS apps that are compatible with the Chromecast there, rather than duplicating the Google Play stuff again. Like I said, I don't know if there's a better way. I don't work for their marketing team. I have massive respect for those people, but it's a weird problem.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of weird because if you go to Chromecast.com/apps, um, I don't know right away looking at it like Crackle.
I don't think it's
Um,
I don't think it's done though. I don't think that site when you go there, I don't think that's exactly what they want it to look like yet because they're talking about starting categories up and things like that. So I think that that's
mhm.
still due for a refresh.
Yeah, I would hope so because the way it stands right now, when I look at the Crackle app, I don't know, is that an Android app, an iPhone app? Is it on both? Um, so if they're going to do a separate site, um, I kind of like Craig's idea of having, there's got to be a way to just make it easy for people. I think regardless of what they do in the Play Store, they should have a Chromecast category for those of us who just, I know that I have an Android device, so when I look for Chromecast apps, my first thought is to go to the Play Store. Um, for other people who have iPhones and they're like, well, Chromecast is a Google thing. I have an iPhone. I don't know where should I go to look for apps. Maybe having Chromecast.com is a good idea. But regardless, I do hope they give us a category so that we don't have to um, go bookmark another page just for finding Chromecast apps when it already makes sense for us to go to play.google.com/store. Um, so that being said, I do hope that they refresh the Chromecast app page at least so that when I look at it, I know right away if the device that I own is supported by this particular app or not, so I know if it's even worth clicking on it. Um, and then if I do click on it, it should probably just give me the option, do you have an iPhone or Android phone? And whichever one I click on, it takes me to Play Store or iTunes.
Yeah, just to jump in, there is a category in Google Play for Chromecast enabled apps, but it's kind of hidden. You have to go looking for it. It's not a main option on the left navigation panel, which I think is where it probably belongs. I like your idea though. I would say preempt that just on the branding inside the box. Do Chromecast.com/Android. That redirects you to that category on the Play Store, and Chromecast.com/iOS, which redirects you to a directory that Google has built of iOS compatible apps. But yeah, that would be my gut. Good idea.
And that is I think what they're looking for. I'm just scrolling through this list though, and I'm gonna pop this up here. There's actually an app called Crunchyroll, which you watch the hottest anime in HD 1 hour after its Japanese TV broadcast. That's awesome. There are so many so many things out there that I'm like, it's like what? And this is like currently like the official list. They do go over some ones that we've all heard of. The HBO Go, Crackle. I believe Crackle. I've got it, and it's like a Sony kind of HBO Go, but it's not really new releases at all. But it's a lot of their older library. Um, but of course, Plex, Songza. So all these are listed. They're not even links though. So they're just gonna tell you
Yeah.
go find this app in your store somewhere, whatever app you know what I mean. And then they do the Chromecast tab. But again, the URL, of course, also is not even the Chromecast.com URL. This is actually a Google.com. Goes into just the Chromecast/apps. So they're not done yet. So definitely give them some time. But it is a fragmentation thing, to be honest. But we'll go there. All right. Next up, hands-on. excuse me. With the Lenovo ThinkPad 11e in both Windows and Chrome OS models, right? So this is the like the it's one of those things where I wish I had one, so I'm telling you that someone did have one, and then they're touching it and looking at it and stuff like that, and it's pretty cool. They've got a lot of great photos, and this is of course the clamshell one. I don't think this is the one that actually goes full. Is this fully flip? Is the yoga model? let's see here, similar to what you'd find with the yoga line, but not the yoga line. So this is the one that would actually flip up, and that's pretty cool. I'm so psyched about this. We did the touch. We did the looked at the touch model last week, and from Acer, the C720p, and to see this model out here that can do this little tent maneuver here, that is pretty cool. I mean, it's not like doesn't blow your hair back all the time, but it's it's just another interesting. If I can get this to line up right so everyone can see it, but basically this is the model that folds all the way, not all the way backwards, so that it does like a tablet mode. It does like a mode where it can either stand up on its side or it can be at an angle. So, wait, that's the yoga. Wait a minute, which one am I looking at? Craig or James, have you guys had a chance to watch the video? I haven't had a chance to watch the video, and that looks like the yoga model to me. I don't see it folding all the way back though. James, I'll start with you.
I haven't watched the video yet. In fact, I'm excited to see this because so far the only review I've been able to find, and I guess I haven't looked super hard, was a Liliputing review, and that wasn't the best review. They were just basically playing with display models, one of which apparently wasn't working right. So I am excited to watch this video, but not one single photo on this review shows it in tablet mode. So I'm inclined to believe that if it could do tablet mode, it would have the word yoga somewhere on it, and it would have a picture of it in tablet mode. So I think you're right. It's probably, which doesn't make much sense to me. If you're going to take away my physical keyboard, I should at least be able to have it like have the ability to go tablet mode. Like, I don't understand the advantage I would gain from tent mode over just having it sitting on my lap or on the table, but whatevs.
Yeah, no, I agree. Now the interesting about this, it does. You're right. I don't see it collapsing all the way, but they do have the Windows 8 version and the Chrome version sitting there, and I know that the Windows version actually comes with like an Ethernet port, and the Chromebook version does not. It does have some weird caveats. Craig, have you had a chance to take a look at that? I believe what we're looking at is just the clamshell version and not the full yoga model.
I haven't had a chance to watch the video, but I do have a few quick corrections. First off, these are education models, so these are not the consumer versions. The consumer versions are called the Lenovo N20 and Lenovo N20P, respectively. The P is the yoga model. The yoga model does not bend 360 degrees. It does not collapse. It's 300 degrees. So these may well be photos of that. And actually, the photo gallery does say Lenovo ThinkPad Yoga 11E product, so it's got the yoga in it. So that's probably what we're looking at. But yeah, they don't collapse flat. Like James said, I don't really understand that.
Yeah.
Viewing angles for watching a movie, maybe, but unless there's going to be a stylus involved, I don't really see how it would be good for much, other than kind of as a gimmick. Or I'm sure if you owned one, you could find a use for it, but that alone isn't going to entice me to buy it over another Chromebook, if that makes sense. So it'll be something to keep an eye on. I don't know when the consumer models will be released, but these are education only. I don't know that there's a difference between the education and consumer models. Again, we have very little information about this. This is the first video I've seen listed, other than the one James mentioned, where, like James said, one of the review models, the floor models, wasn't working. So
Yeah,
it wasn't very informative. But
it's interesting though. This review claims it's a 360-degree yoga style hinge, but I don't believe it.
Yeah, I think I saw 360 as well.
Right before the gallery, it says
Yeah,
it.
right there. I got it. Put it up.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
I have listed on Chromebook that it's a 300 degree. We may have to do some investigating here, because if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. I'll correct it.
No, I did. I understand. It says that for basic 11.6-inch configuration makeup, the ThinkPad 11 series, the system is available in traditional Windows 8 version, first as a non-touch clamshell, and then as a touchscreen version with a 360-degree hinge, similar to what you find on the company's yoga line. So similar. So I'm not sure which model that quietly announced. I don't know. That's weird. This is
The
kind of a
Verge
vague.
article, the Verge article that I've cited says 300 degree, and apparently, as of May 6th, they're also not Haswell based; they're Bay Trail based now.
Ooh,
So
pretty.
yeah, something changed.
Interesting. Well,
This
listen,
is yeah, these are odd shaped balls of wonder. That's what these are at this point.
well, speaking of odd-shaped balls of wonder, the, let's jump into some other news about Chromebooks, and that's going to be the new Tegra. Now, listen, I realize I missed the boat on this. It's because I hit you guys up and I'm like, hey, look at this. And I was all like, hey, I'm just going to leave this here, right? Like I did something, because I thought I was like the first one to see it, but I wasn't. And to me, this is a new beast. Having the NVIDIA Tegra chip in it, it's still an ARM chip, but it's a quad core. Um, it's built for speed. It's like me, right? It's built for speed, and it's a little bit different. It's coming with 4 gig, 32 gigabyte SSD. This is an Acer computer, and to me, this is. I mean, it's not exactly like a game changer or anything like that, but we've seen a couple more come out with releasing that they're going to have 4 gig variants. So I mean, this one's coming out of the gate with a 4 gig variant, 32 gigabyte SSD, the 13-inch screen. I think this is to me this is sexy, having this brand new the Acer CB5. Um, it also has different lines than the standard C720 model. It definitely has a little bit more of a sharper edges, not as many rounded edges, things like that. Craig, have you had a chance to take a look at the images and also to read the scuttlebutt around the new chip? And also, I mean, we've seen the chip in other devices, mobile devices, but
I am excited, truly. Like you said, it's got a great processor for what it is. 4 gigs of RAM, 32 gigabyte solid state, 13.3-inch display, 2 USB ports, an Ethernet jack, and a headset jack. Honestly, the only thing sane and reasonable about this device is the name, which excites me because it's just the Acer Chromebook CB5. That is an amazing name. I love the name because it makes sense. It's not the Samsung Chromebook 2, which is their 6th generation Chromebook. I love the name. The design is awesome. It's that moonshell white or moonlight, whatever.
Moonstone.
Um, Moonstone, as if there's a difference. Um, it's white, John. It's white.
It is. It is a gorgeous white. If it's the same exact white as the C720p, it is a nice model. Very nice model.
It is. And I've seen reviews from the Android Police people that say the processor holds up pretty well on the other devices we've seen it in. So I'm excited to see benchmarks, how it holds up against Bay Trail. That'll be interesting. I think Haswell will blow it out of the water. I do. But I think compared to some of the new Bay Trail devices, possibly the new Lenovo models, but for sure the new Asus C200 and C300, I think this could be a serious contender for the right price point. Anything above 300, 350 would probably be pushing it for me.
That's true. I'm with you there. That price point is a little steep. James, um, Craig mentions the Bay Trail Haswell ARM NVIDIA chip. We're getting kind of we're throwing around a lot of processors at this point, and I think that Acer actually has. We've heard a rumor today. It's a rumor, straight up. I believe it's just a rumor. I can't remember. I don't go by facts. That someone said that there's going to be a. It's good that Craig went offline for a second to sneeze. That there is an i3 Chromebook coming out, possibly from Acer as well. So again, that's just a rumor. Don't take that as fact. But anyway, my point is, it's an ARM chip, but this one's built for speed. What are your thoughts on it? I mean, it's different. It's not. I mean, I know you're always like, geez. What are your thoughts on this guy, though?
Uh, I'm so over ARM chips. I just don't even understand why anybody makes ARM Chromebooks anymore. Like, I don't know. Fanless is, and unless I'm wrong, fanless is like the only benefit to an ARM chip right now. You're getting 8+ hours of battery life out of Haswells. The Haswells are faster. They have a fan, which I never hear on my right now, my Acer. Can't hear anything. Apparently it has a fan. I'm told it has a fan. On paper it says it has a fan, but I don't hear anything. So I just don't get it. The Bay Trails, that's exciting because they claim to be fairly comparable to the Haswells, and they're fanless. I see the Bay Trails as being a possible ARM killer, so I'm more excited about that. Not super excited about another ARM Chromebook. 4 gigabytes is nice, but when you have an ARM chip, what's the 4 gigabytes really doing for you? 32 gigabyte hard drive, that's okay. My Acer has 32 gigabyte hard drive. Like, I'm not super excited about this Acer. Ethernet port's nice, I guess. I hear some people still have those. There's like a cable, I guess, that you can plug in from your router to your I don't know. My grandpa talks about it. So I'm not super excited about it. I can't wait to get my hands on a Bay Trail machine, or even Samsung's ARM chip, because at least that's a little bit different from all the other ARM chips. But mainly, I really want to get a Bay Trail Chromebook in my hands and see what that's all about.
I gotcha. Now, what I really would like to see, to be honest, and Craig, you mentioned the benchmarking. I would like to see benchmarking against the Exynos, the Samsung one. I'd really like to see if, I mean, is NVIDIA really coming to the table with something like a better ARM architecture or not? That's kind of what my question would be.
I would quickly interrupt and call James out on that and say, no, no, ARM has a place. ARM has a big place. I'm a fan of Intel, but I like competition, and AMD doesn't seem interested. So ARM is the guy we have to root for. They're the underdog, obviously, but the biggest reason why Haswell will not stick around in Chromebooks is price. There was an article a few weeks ago, and I can put it in the show notes, that talks about how Intel subsidized the price of Haswell because they got scared to death of ARM dominating Chromebooks. And they got scared to death because the Samsung Series 3 sold through the roof. And they didn't have any Haswell-based Chromebooks. Their Chromebooks that were running Intel chips, the Acer C710 was their guy. And it just did not sell as well as the Samsung Series 3, mostly because of the battery. But and Samsung has amazing licensing deal with ARM, so Samsung wasn't going to go back to Intel. They just weren't. So when the subsidization goes away, so does Haswell. You won't see Haswell devices for $199 anymore. I guarantee that. Instead, you'll see Bay Trail devices for $199. And right now, the biggest benefit to Bay Trail over ARM is on paper, because the Asus C200 and C300 are just now starting to come to market, so we don't have a lot of real life experience yet. On paper, battery life looks amazing, almost double. You're looking at 6 hours on the HP 11 compared to virtually 12 on the Asus C200. That's amazing. Performance-wise, we don't have any real metrics on that yet. But this seems interesting. Like John said, it's from Nevada. They make graphic chips.
NVIDIA, right. Yep.
NVIDIA. That makes much more sense. Yes. So I would be interested to see what they've done to the ARM designs to differentiate them from Samsung. I don't know if they bring a lot to the table, but I think they've worked with ARM in the past for a lot of tablets. So I don't know. For gaming type performance, it might make sense. Google Plus is heavy. It's heavy as a website. I don't know how much of that could be offloaded to like a GPU type of deal. I really don't know what I'm talking about here. So anyone listening that knows more than this, feel free to correct me. But James, I'm sorry. We're going to have a conversation about this in the future. We're going to dedicate an episode to it because I like Intel, but I'm rooting for ARM.
I'm down.
All right, I'm down. So that's also a call to arms to Samsung and now to Acer to send us some laptops with ARM chips. I know Craig's got one. Craig's got a couple. James has your Samsung, James, did have an ARM chip in it, didn't it? Or did you have one of the?
No, I had the 5550.
Right. Okay. All right. So yeah. So we need some ARM. I need some ARMs. Where does a general keep his armies? Up his sleeveys. That's a terrible joke from when I was a kid. So ARM chips. We do need. I need to get my hands on one just to see, and especially I think James, you make a point about the 4 gig. I think that's actually going to make a large difference with especially with an ARM chip, because if it's not swapping with the hard drive, I know they're SSDs, but I think that would actually make a larger difference. So we'll see. And again, if the benchmark is coming along, we'll see what happens. So next up is actually a big slap in the face. So this is terrible. I'm not going to badmouth a company.
I'll do it.
Not Here on Practical Chrome, this is an editorial-based show, so please do not see the views that are not held by the Practical Chrome in its entirety. Anyway, James, I will kind of send this one to you. If you wouldn't mind, though, describe what happened.
Your screen's a little fuzzy for me. Is that the Verizon deal back there?
Yes, it is such a. It was. I was able to mention a large company and doing a bad thing. You were like, yes.
It was probably Verizon. I'm a longtime Verizon user, and I don't know why. They're so terrible. I'm sorry. They have the best coverage, and they have great customer service, and that's that's about all I can say. They're just so. I mean, they're all about the money. I know every company, that's why you get in business. AT&T's not. They didn't start making phones to make people happy. They did it because they needed to pay the bills. That's where everyone's doing what they do. But Verizon just seems to always go one step further, and they're just always about the money. And now they've taken away half of a promised 2-year free data plan. I mean, it was all over the interwebs. Like, this wasn't a rumor. Oh, I heard Verizon's offering no, you bought a Pixel and it said you're going to get 2 free years of 100 megabytes a month of Verizon LTE with this Chromebook. Yay! 1 year later, just kidding. We're only giving you 1 year. And you call Verizon and they're like, oh, we were never aware of any 2-year agreement. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, it's right here on this website. Sorry, we got nothing. And that's basically as far as you got. And I just find that to be really annoying and crappy to do something like that. I don't understand. And my least favorite part, or maybe my favorite part, depending on how you look at it, is a stupid quote from Verizon where they're like, we're sorry that some people lost their 2-year data plan. They called it a 2-year data plan, like that's actually a thing. Early is how they worded it. So they actually worded it like it was a 2-year plan that they ended early, basically admitting that they did this. And they said that they're currently looking for a solution. Here's a solution. You offered 2 years, give people 2 years. Don't offer 2 years and then give them 1 year. Like, I don't know why this is a solution that needs to be looked into, and why it's not just oh, you're right, we offered 2 years. Here you go. Luckily, Google stepped up and is offering a $150 gift card to people, not just people, specific people, Chromebook Pixel owners who are affected by this. So that's really cool. It's a Visa card. It's just a gift card, so you don't have to spend it on Google stuff. You could put it towards your new iPhone 5 if you wanted to. But so that's really cool. It has sort of a happy ending. Verizon kind of screwed a bunch of people, but Google stepped up and said, here's $150. Hopefully that will kind of smooth things over. And maybe Verizon will fix it, and some people will get a $150 gift card, and they'll get their 2 years. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
All right, well, James, what I'll do is I'm going to quote the article real quick. You did quote it right. This is actually, again, this is from OMG Chrome, from Joey, and he basically updated on the 24th. And over in Camp Verizon, the company says the issue is just down to crossed wires, telling Computer World, we understand that some Chromebook Pixel customers may have lost their promotional data 100 megabytes a month for 2 years early. We apologize for this and are working on a solution for those customers. So you're right, they kind of said solution. They do mention the $150 Google Play card, gift cards. Craig, what I'd like to ask you about is we reviewed the other day the HP 14, which if you still buy it at Costco right now for $379, you get 250 megabytes of data from T-Mobile for a certain period of time. What's to say theirs might not disappear as well? I mean, wouldn't this be kind of scary? We talked about GoGo, and you made the great point about the fact that the GoGos, now they didn't drop theirs, they didn't just stop the promotional period, but I mean, some people rely on some of these things.
Well, the T-Mobile data plan isn't going to go away because of the way they've got it bundled. It's actually for life, if I understand it correctly, because it's part of T-Mobile's tablet and extra device kind of program. Basically, they're giving away data free for life. So I don't think that expires. Um, Please, before you buy it, look that up and double check,
I'll
seeing
look
I
it up.
don't own one.
I'll look it up real quick while you.
I'm pretty sure you're right for what it's
Yeah,
worth.
me
They
me too. Yeah.
It wasn't for life at first, but then they changed it, and it was like a nice surprise for everybody. It was going to be like 2 years, I think, and then they changed it.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Perfect, perfect. Um, I, Honestly, I'm so confused as to why carriers are struggling with this, um, and why Google's not forcing their hand a little bit to make the whole process a little bit smoother. Verizon has worked with Google in the past. The Samsung Series 5 550 that James formerly owned and I own now, has a built-in Verizon 3G modem too. Um, and they kind of had problems with that. It wasn't super easy to enroll the devices. I had to actually call in to get mine activated, and the poor support rep did not understand what a Chromebook was or why I would be activating one on their network. And there were some people that it took them 2 or 3 weeks worth of calls just to get it activated. I assume the Pixel was probably the same way, and you can't group it onto your other plans. It has to stay as a separate kind of prepaid type plan, which for a lot of people is just inconvenience. Um, Honestly, it seems to me like there should be a way to make these things be treated just like cell phones for carriers. I mean, there can't be that much of a problem on the back end. How old are the servers these companies are using? I mean, come on. There's got to be an easier way. So honestly, moving forward, I would love to see Google in their professional partnership with Verizon when it comes to Chromebooks, because I've had nothing but bad experience with my 550 and Verizon, and just switched to T-Mobile. Their experience hasn't been a whole lot better, but in terms of enrolling the device, I know some people have to call in, but at least they're a bit more willing to work with the data allotments and stuff. So and go ahead and once we get to the point where there's LTE everywhere, just unlock the darn things. Just unlock them. Go ahead and sell them with whatever free data, promotional, whatever, but just unlock the things. Just unlock them.
I'm with you.
Amen, brother.
Hey, that's right. You're preaching to the choir. Um, I did find out. So it is free for life, right? So I've got that up on the screen now. If you go over to shopping.hp.com, you can find the for 349. I might have misquoted. I'm pretty sure at Costco, which is like the here and now, right now at Costco. You also get your extra benefits at Costco. It's like 379, but 349 on the website right now, and it is 4G for life. So all right. So we're going to get into the main, but before we get into the main, I would like to thank our sponsor, Effective Group .com or Effective Group, and let me bring up their notes here because they've been really great for us, and I really want to thank them for sponsoring us for the past 4 weeks. But the Effective Group stats show that they increased the turnover and inquiry rate of a website ninefold. Now, again, what they do is they bring you in and they give you the full package for your online presence, right? Their actual motto is that they make the internet work for you, right? So if you have a product or it's just you or something like that that you need to promote, and not just promote just like by slapping a website up there, you want to put a website up, make it viewable. We talked about mobilization and how you want to build it for the different types of devices people are using, whether it be tablet or mobile. They definitely do that. They're responsive design that allows it to be the same look on every device. They do that. So that's the simple stuff, right? That's the getting your brand up on the web. But they also work with you on the SEO management, so search engine optimization, the PPC management, pay-per-click, product listing, ads management, and then social media. So they really will make the internet work for you. So definitely take a look at what they have. Again, it's going to be www.com or www.com, www.effective-group.com. Again, they've been in the business for 15 years. Check out their site, check out their portfolio, and also read about their successes. They also have some of those websites that they've built that allow you to you can take your tablet or your phone and open the same website through one of their links, and you'll see that it shifts and adjusts, or you can even just grab your window and adjust it and make it smaller or bigger. And you can see how it's responsive. So you have this constant brand image that doesn't change no matter what they're looking at. So again, check out Effective Group. Again, that's effective-group.com. And again, thanks for them for sponsoring us over the last couple of weeks. I really do appreciate it. All right, guys, it's time to get into the main. I hope Craig has come back. He has. Craig, awesome. Good to have you back. Because you know what, we're going to get into it. And you know what? I thought about this. I'm not big on facts. Not big. Um, but I also don't want to lay it too thick with the rumors, right? Because that just gets people hyped up and excited about things they just don't need to get excited about. So what we're talking about, of course, is Google I/O 2014. Right, here it is. Here's the website. It's up behind me right now. If you go to www.google.com/IO, you're going to be sent to the newest schedule, sandbox, the extended stuff, logistics, videos, experiments. They've got everything that you would want to see at the conference right there. They also have an Android app, which I'll have a link for. I downloaded it just because I wanted to be able to, on my phone, instead of having a browser in front of me, I wanted to be able to check the schedule. Say I want to go to one. I'm not going to go to it, of course, obviously, but it just reminds me, oh yeah, I got to go back and check that video later, because I really want to watch that, because they have these really great sessions throughout these next 2 days, and it's their big conference, right? It's when they release cool stuff, and you find out about stuff about the new releases of products, the development that's going on with Chromecast, Nest. There's big development going on there. They're talking about their new platforms. They're talking about Dart. They're talking about so many cool things, and you've got to check out Google I/O. And what I want to do is I just want to ping. That's right. I'm going to use that super hip term. I'm going to ping you guys. I'm going to ping you. I'm going to send you a ping. Let's see what returns. How's that tracer look? So I'm going to start with you, Craig. And I don't want to know rumors. I kind of agree with you. I don't think that laying on the rumors too thick is really worth it. If you go out and you read some of the descriptions of some of the sessions, you're kind of you're gonna grok what's going on in the session, and some of it is going to be some new stuff. Other things are just really great sessions for current developers that just want to learn what new APIs are coming out, and they might not be necessarily cutting edge or something like that, but for them it's going to be perfect for what they're developing. So I want to throw it to you, and I want to ask you. I know that you've looked at the schedule, you've really dug in a little bit. What's exciting you about what you're reading? What are you like, man, if I was there, I would be in that room 5 minutes before the start of that session. That's what I want to know. What are you looking at, Craig?
Well, if I was there, I would be in the room 5 minutes before the keynote, because that's when they give all the free stuff away. Now, and you're right, by the way, I'm a buzzkill. I'm the one that said we're not doing rumors tonight because that's ridiculous. And I am a buzzkill. I'm okay with that. I've never been the type of person to kind of adorn the body paint and disrupt a dance recital or something.
Hold on, Craig, let me cut you off. I didn't say you were a buzzkill. It's not. I agree with you that it's not necessary. There's plenty of articles out there that go over some of this stuff, but I think that if we advise people, and I think it's because it's free, it's there, it's very easy to navigate. Check out the website, check out the schedule. There's a lot of cool stuff in there and you'll immediately know by reading it. You'll know what's coming up. So I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I just don't want you to think that you're a buzzkill. I don't think you're a buzzkill. I just want to let people know that they can take this information in themselves.
Sure. You see, you weren't thinking buzzkill, but somebody listening was thinking buzzkill.
Oh.
And that's fine. Yeah, like John said, the schedule's available. There's lots of different stuff up. The names won't necessarily tell you what it's going to be about. You can't make too many assumptions from the names alone. But there are all kinds of things. There are wearable sessions, performance sessions relating to everything about Chrome. And actually, you can use a filter if you scroll all the way down on the right side and select Chrome/web, and it will filter the sessions just by Chrome-related sessions. So, for example, they've got jank-free performance audits, optimizing Dart applications. Dart is something to watch for. That's on my radar. It's a programming language designed for the web. It's kind of a drop-in replacement for JavaScript in some aspects and completely wildly different in others. It's hard to generalize about languages like that, especially when they're in development. But you should also probably watch for the Polymer and Web Components revolution. I don't know a lot about that, but I want to know more, so I'm glad they're going to stream that one live. There's HTTPS everywhere, which should be an interesting, probably security-type related session. The one thing I did not see was a Chrome OS fireside chat session. They've done this a couple times in past years, where they basically just have a couple developers and usually the project team manager there, and they just take questions from the audience for half an hour or so. And those are on YouTube if you want to go search for like last year's. They're always kind of fun. So I'm wondering if they'll slip that in last minute or maybe an after type thing. But that's what I'm missing. That's what I'm missing this year. But other than that, watch for Dart, Polymer. There's some native client stuff. Just in general, scroll through the list, find something that interests you, and add it to your schedule, even if you're not going to be there.
There you go. So I'm gonna bring this slide up real quick for people watching the video, and you can see here again. You can go to the events. You can go to home. When you go to home, it actually gives you like this. The keynote will be blasted live there, right on the screen, and then I think these little boxes as well will be live events that'll be playing. And then also talks about how you can go to the developer page, get some latest information. There's also these little dev bites, little hors d'oeuvres before I/O, where the developers actually give you little vignettes about some of the products that they're talking about, some of the development that they're working on, the APIs, things like that. And again, the the conference in your pocket. It's a really cool app. It's very straightforward, and if you were at the event, it really worked really well because it's got maps and gets you to your sessions. If you've never been to like a lug or a conference with something like this where you're going with a bunch of different developers, there's going to be these keynotes, some big sessions where you're in like these huge auditoriums where everybody goes there, and then there's breakouts, and then there's these sessions that are put on usually by on this case it's going to be Google, but sometimes on some of these conferences they're put on by individual companies, vendors that like want to show you something as well. I'm not sure about Google I/O. That's my experience. So that's kind of what it's like. So kind of think of it like that. And these sessions are really great for a developer to kind of talk to other developers because there's a lot of networking going on. And you could be working on something and have a problem or not know which way to go with design, especially back end, and then you work and run into somebody. It's really cool like that. So these events. But anyway, I digress. So again, being able to go in and go to the website, then look at the schedule really quick. I'm just going to bring it up on the screen. And you're looking at the difference. You literally can see the agenda: breakfast, keynote, lunch, sessions, code lab, sandboxes. They don't even have after hours stuff for all the parties and stuff. So like Craig said, you can definitely break it out. I can click develop, and that's just going to be all the ones for develop. You click my schedule. For me, I've highlighted some things that I wanted, and then now I can scroll through and just see them. And I can click them when they're going to go live, and I can watch it when it's live if it's available live. They do have day 1, day 2. A lot of cool stuff like that. They've got an experiment section, which I haven't actually dove into, and I don't know what it is, so I'm not really going to click it because who knows what it'll do. It could be all crazy. But so James, I'm going to throw it to you. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at the schedule, really to dig in too much with that. I don't know if you got the app. I think the app is really awesome. And when it comes to rumors, I know that you'd love to just slam the rumors. And all I can say is this when it comes to rumors. James, Google owns Android, it owns Nest, it owns Chrome OS, it owns Google Maps, and usually these things have some reveals. So, what are your thoughts on Google I/O 2014, Mr. Welbes?
Well, I think it'll be kind of exciting. It's the first time I'll even really be interested in it, I guess. I've never really followed the Google I/O or Apple's whatever they call their thing, WWDC or whatever. So this will be the first time I might even actually get to watch some of it and actually pay attention for what's going on. And I did get a chance to go through the schedule. The schedule's kind of frustrating just because of how vague everything is, and I just want to know now what's going on, what are they going to say, and the schedule is a huge tease, which it's supposed to be. Makes you want to engage. So it looks like they're doing some fun stuff with maps. They talked about their geo something, their big photo library that they're putting together. Looks fun. There's a few different Android Wear sessions going on, which could be fun. Google Glass. I heard a rumor that they were releasing Glass with 2 gigabytes of RAM soon. Don't know why. Maybe they're planning some more memory intensive apps or something. It'd be fun to see what they talk about with Glass at the I/O. See if maybe some people are hoping they give some out. You never know. They gave out Chromebook Pixels last time, and those cost like $1 million. So anything, sky's the limit with Google I/O. Google's kind of like Oprah. You get a Pixel, you get a Pixel, you get a Pixel. So maybe they'll hand out Glass. Who knows? But so yeah, there's some exciting stuff in there, and I can't wait to actually sit down and watch some of it.
I'm with you. I'm actually like right now. I'm just simply scrolling through. I'm going to kind of bring it up on the screen. I'm scrolling through it, and like Craig said, you kind of can't take the name exactly as something that you're going to be able to find something that you're going to be like, oh, look at that. But like you click on here, like what's new in Android, and again, you can do this. I didn't have to sign in as anybody. I didn't have to have a Google account. You just go to the website and you can check these out, right? So right here, this what's new in Android. When you click it, it actually gives you a little like paragraph about the speakers and then also about what it's about. It says, join us for a thrilling guided tour of the latest developments in Android technologies and APIs. We'll cover everything that's new and improved in the Android platform since the last time, right? So that's why that's why a lot of the rumors start to flow, right? Because they release the schedule and they start talking about these things, and so definitely check out the there's actually, and also I saw a lot of Nest things, which I thought that was kind of cool because remember Google now has Nest, so like they talk about their Nest APIs. There's the startup solution here. That's kind of interesting. So if you, again, I'm not rumorizing. I'm actually showing you what's on the schedule, so you can see what's going on. And the Polymer with Dart and JavaScript. I mean, that's, as a geek, I'm like, what? You're talking about three technologies. How do you marry those three? What makes it blazing fast? How is it really cool? They have a Dart like performance optimization class session. They've got enable Google Cast for your application. So like, I mean, they're having this really cool session where you can just be like, hey, this is how you do this. Like, you know what I mean? So it gets developers excited and see how straightforward something like that can be. There's the HTTPS everywhere that Craig mentioned. So definitely check that out. Also, be sure to check out the other cool thing. And Craig, I'll let you do this. This is kind of cool. I have a link to it on our G Plus event page as well. This is one of the first times I've actually had like links in the event page for our Practical Chrome show. But Craig, I'll let you kind of bring it up with the Google G Plus Chromebook community and Google I/O.
Sure. Starting tomorrow for the keynote, we will have a live chat room on IRC for any member of the public to drop in and just kind of chat with us, other geeks, about what's happening on the live stream. We tried this last year, and when I say we, I mean the Google Plus community and the Reddit Chrome OS community, and it worked pretty well. It was kind of last minute, so we only had probably 30 to 50 people, but we've had a lot more RSVP this time, or at least say they're interested. So we're expecting kind of a small army, if you will. Hopefully enough people to storm the stage if things go wrong. So yeah, IRC kind of gets a bad rep sometimes because it can be a little complicated, but we've actually compiled some getting started guides. So even if you wait until like an hour before the live stream, just read the guide. It's downloading an app or just opening a browser tab and logging in on the web. So we try to make it easy. We want as many people to feel like they can get involved if they want to. There's no obligation to actually chat. You can just lurk if you want. That's always fun. So it tends to be pretty active, pretty interesting, and yeah, I'm excited.
Exactly. That's gonna be sweet, right? That's gonna be sweet. I can, and this was actually a cool one. 10 things I learned from the Chrome OS source. Walk right up. We're doing 480 minutes of demos on the latest of the web platform Chrome. See the latest profiling advancements in the Chrome Dev tools. Like, that is so cool. Can you imagine being there? Man, that'd be cool. But to bring up the IRC, really quickly, I just want to show people how easy it is to become involved with that conversation. What I'm going to do is really quickly, I'm going to jump out for a second. I'm going to stop screen sharing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to screen share again, but I'm going to do my full screen. And I'm going to bring up the client really quickly. So you can see what it is. This is one of the ones that I have. Let me see here. Chrome apps. I don't have the little launcher dealy. So let's see here. Oh dear. Oh dear. All right, I'm not gonna do that. But anyway, this is the app, right? So it's really straightforward, and we have Craig has the instruction set on how to connect something like this tool. Was it this tool directly, Craig? I can't remember.
Yes, we have a guide specifically for the CIRC, which is the packaged Chrome app. So this will run perfectly on your Chromebook, and so will the web version if you're in a place that blocks IRC access directly.
Correct. So like right now on my screen, you can actually see the CIRC client, and it's really cool. You just add the room, and then boom, you'll be able to speak with just a bunch of other, honestly, just Chrome OS, Chrome fanatics talking about what they're seeing online, what they're watching on the video. If you can't be there, maybe you can actually launch this on your Android device or your iOS device if it has an IRC chat client. So definitely check that out. That is the coolest thing ever, to be able to have a group community chat like that, especially on such a IRC is so cool. Internet relay chat, come on, been around forever. That's the bomb. So definitely check that out. So I think that, guys, unless you have any other, James, do you have any other comments about Google I/O? I mean, the awesomeness that is the developers conference.
I do not.
No, nothing. Zero. All right. Well, all right. Do you want to throw a rumor out there just to be like, oh my goodness, on Practical Chrome they said that they're doing a moonshot. Sergey's going to the moon. Well, okay. Craig, anything?
I got nothing.
Craig,
Well,
anything?
yeah, I actually heard that they're working on getting Project Loon to the moon. So there's that. Honestly, if any of you listeners are like us, you're not going to be able to sleep tonight in anticipation, which is perfectly normal. Don't worry about calling your doctor at 3 in the morning or anything. It'll be fine. You'll be exhausted afterwards. You'll probably stay up tomorrow night too, playing with whatever they release. It's part of the cycle. But it'll be fine. It's fine. Trust me, it's fine.
It'll all be okay in the morning. That's right. After the keynote and everything's all awesome. Well, I guess that's a wrap for this show, guys. Again, I'd like to thank all of our listeners and watchers. The listeners, I do apologize. This is a pre Google I/O show, so when you're listening to the MP3, to be honest, it's going to be a little late. So I do apologize for that. But maybe we got some stuff right when we talked about our little when we peered into whatever little crystal balls when we basically just read you the events that were coming up. So maybe we got some stuff right. But I do apologize for that. It's going to be a little bit late. The I/O will probably be over by then. So we'll go ahead and end the show. James, where can people find you throughout the week, sir? Find out what James Welbes is doing.
Well, John, they can find me at on Google Plus, Google plus.google.com/James Welbes. I think I do use my real name, and also at tech.itiswhatitis.biz. If you don't remember that, you can always check out tech.itiswhatitis.biz on Google Plus too. That's basically my RSS feed for the blog. Whatever happens on the blog goes to the Google Plus. So check that out. Yep.
Awesome. And Mr. Tumblison, where can people find you throughout the week?
That's a great question. I actually just launched something brand new. You guys don't even know about it yet. Chromebook owners can just press the dedicated search key, type in CRAIG space TUMBLI. It should autocomplete the rest of my name, and then you can just find me in the search results naturally. So nice and simple.
I don't believe you, sir.
I'm mostly lying, but I'm kind of hoping that no one actually tries it. If you do, get back to me, let me know. I would appreciate knowing. But I'm lying, so don't worry. If it doesn't work, it's not a bug, it's a feature.
All right. Did you tell him about Chromebook.com? Did you tell him about that?
It should be in the results. I've got my authorship tied in, so it should show up.
It should show up? All right,
It worked for me when I searched for Craig Tumblison. I found an app lets me hang out with you or email you. It totally works.
see there you, there you go. Now, of course, if you do, and if you're looking at the screen right now, you're watching the video, you can see at the bottom of our posts, you can actually find the links to Mr. Tumblison, so you don't actually have to try and search for him, which you would find him, to be honest. The man is prolific across the Google sphere. But if you did want to just click a link instead of hunting and pecking for him over the interwebs, he is there. So, and as well as Mr. Welbes, as well as myself. My name, of course, is John Oliphant, and I want to thank you for visiting us here on Practical Chrome, watching the show, listening to the MP3. Of course, we are everywhere on the web. We're on G Plus as Practical Chrome, practicalchrome.com. I'm on there as John Oliphant. I use my real name. I don't know why. I have no privacy. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to the product forums. We've been doing that for the past couple weeks, and I want to give a shout out because I actually had a problem this evening. I got a brand new Windows machine, and I could not get the Google Voice and Video set up to run, and I was going to throttle somebody because I didn't have my old Windows machine, and I use it to display this bad boy behind me and to screencast. So I was like, it's going to be a terrible show. But I Googled my problem, and the product forums is where the answer was. So someone had supplied the answer, and I was able to fix my computer and get everything back up and running within minutes because I found the answer there. So I want to let everybody know to definitely check out the product forums. Again, that's just productforums.product. I'm going to bring it up here. Like here's, for instance, this is Chromebook, but it's Chromebook Central, but it's also available for other product lines, right? So Hangouts, Docs, Drive. If you've got a question, throw it in there. If you've got answers, throw it in there. One of the ways that I've been answering is I've made those Adventures in Chrome videos. I recently made one on Touch, and then of course I got the one about the Web Starter Kit. And those are under my real name under YouTube as well as on the Practical Chrome channel. You can see them there. So again, just thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for being a member of the Practical Chrome team, because whatever you supply on the G Plus forums and comments that you give us, you are actually providing stuff for the show, and I just really appreciate it. So again, everybody have a really good evening. Check us out at practicalchrome.com. And gentlemen, you guys have a good rest of the week. Happy I/O.
Peace out.